Well, here we are. The final episode of Let's Go Hammers, and we're ending with the Champions League final. One thing to say. Let's go. Hello there, and welcome to the finale of Season 3, the finale of the save in general. Welcome to the last episode of Let's Go Hammers. I'm StuBo. Thank you so much for joining me in today's episode where, as I said in the intro, we will be playing the Champions League final. Still baffles me that we're doing that in Season 3. And we're also going to be wrapping up the season and the save as a whole as well. If all of that sounds good to you, please leave a like on the video and subscribe to the channel as well for more Football Manager awesomeness. Since you were last with me, not a lot has happened because we've literally just accelerated from the Chelsea game in the FA Cup final, which, spoilers by the way, we won. We've just gone straight from there to here to the Champions League final. By the way, don't know if I mentioned, it's at Wembley, so home advantage to us. Yeah, we've had a couple of injuries since the last episode as well. Jacob Knightbridge, who's our backup goalkeeper for European competitions, is injured. I think you guys saw that in the last episode, actually. I'm not too sure. He's not a very good goalkeeper, but he's there just so we've got one on the bench. Also, Jared Bone picked up a knock as well, which was a bit frustrating. He's out for a week, but we've put an injection into him. Seems to be okay, seems to be all right, and hopefully if we need him, he'll be there. Also, Luca Manchini, not fully fit, but if we needed him, he is there on the bench. I don't foresee us actually rushing to use him, but if we do need him, he's there. Other than that, the only other bit of news to tell you, I think, is that Tino Livramento got dropped from the England squad. So he got called up for the preliminary squad. He got dropped, but Noni Madueke is going to the Euros. So I am tempted. I'm not going to do a video on it, I don't think. However, if you guys keep an eye on my Twitter, twitter.com/StuBoFM, I am going to post how England do in the Euros on there, just to show you guys, almost like a little bit of a postscript, just to see whether Noni Madueke breaks into the England squad, alongside Declan Rice and also James Justin. It's a bit frustrating, really. Justin's been called up and Livramento's not. Livramento's been our first choice right back this season, and Justin's been the backup, but I'm not going to complain too much about it. At the end of the day, we've got 3 players in the England squad. That's pretty cool. Anyway, enough of that nonsense. It's time to play the Champions League final. I cannot believe I'm saying that. And this is the 11 that we're hoping can bring yet another trophy home to the London Stadium. It is Lafont in goal, Livramento, Diop, Zuma and Christiansen in defence, Tielemans and Rice in midfield with Madueke, Almada and Zakarian supporting Julian Alvarez up front. No massive changes. We're sticking with what got us there in the FA Cup final. I would say this is probably our strongest 11. Ivanisevic and Zakarian are probably interchangeable when they're both fit. Manchini probably is worth a shout in the defence as well. However, I do have to say, Diop and Zuma have impressed me when they've been together this season. Manchini comes in and works well with both of them, but I'm sticking with the defence that we started with. We've got the heart of the midfield, the heart of the defence, and the heart of the midfield, to be fair. The carryovers from the start of this save. We've still got Bowen on the bench. We've still got Soucek as well. Knightbridge came through our academy. We have got a lot of players, not a lot of players necessarily, but we've got a good number of players who came through at West Ham or were at West Ham when we started the save, which is pretty cool. I do just want to double check. Is Mark Noble? Do you know what? I know this is sentimental. We're taking Ivanisevic off the bench. We're putting Mark Noble on there. I want Mark Noble to be there with us at Wembley. But without any further ado, I think it's time we got this match underway. So, West Ham versus Paris Saint-Germain in the Champions League final. Let's do it, boys. Let's go. We have had some fantastic moments in this competition so far this season, chief among which was the comeback in the first leg of the semi-final against Dortmund. Look at that 11. I'm sorry. I know I was in the middle of a point there, but look at that 11. Some of the players they've got are absolutely disgusting. Neymar and Messi. No Mbappe, of course, because Mbappe is at Manchester United. What a disgusting team they've got. But yeah, I forgot the point I was going to make. It's probably how good a team we've been this season. Yeah, if you'd have told me at the beginning of me doing this save, Stu, I know you wanted to do 5 seasons, but you're going to cut it down to 3 seasons because you achieve everything you want to do in the first 2. And you're going to do a 3rd season where you get to a Champions League final. I don't think I'd have believed you. We're 1-0 down, and I'm not very happy about it. We've just let them cross the ball in and just knock the ball in the back of the net. And I'm a little bit Frustrated about it, if I'm honest with you. It's some lovely play. Indeed, he gets it out wide to Hakimi. Is that the fullback there, or is that Zakarian? That's Zakarian. So, maybe, just maybe, we need to be thinking about trying to get the players a little bit wider, because that was quite disappointing. I'm going to demand more very early on, because I'm not very happy with how we've started here. We've not had a single chance so far. To be fair, let's remember, we're playing Paris Saint-Germain. Look at their 11. There's a lot of very good players there. Christian Eriksen's a weird one, I have to say. I didn't expect to see him in the Paris Saint-Germain starting lineup, and yet there he is. But, okay, he must be very, very good in this save, although he's not having a good game at the moment. Then again, neither does our team. That is not how this was supposed to go. But then we were never meant to be here. So we are going to thrash the arms. In fact, I'm tempted to throw the water bottle, but we're not going to do that. Not happy with your defensive work. Not happy with your playmaking efforts. Furious with your finishing. Right, let's have a bit of tactical tinkering, shall we? Okay, I've changed things ever so slightly. So I've actually changed the line of engagement to much higher. So we're going to just try and get them on the back foot a little bit more. It has stretched us a little bit, but I think it might be the right thing to do. We've also gone to a standard defensive width. We were at a narrow defensive width before, but we've gone to standard. Other than that, the only other thing we've done is we've dropped Declan Rice from a central midfielder on defence to a ball-winning midfielder on support in a defensive midfield position, just to give us a little bit more cover, a little bit more help in this position. I am tempted to change him to a half-back, but I feel like that might be too defensive. But now I've said that out loud, I actually think too defensive against Paris Saint-Germain. They kind of ripped us apart in the first half, so let's put him there, have him protect the defence a little bit, give us a little bit of assistance. And we've also got Madueke and Zakarian on support. Hopefully, they'll just drop back a little bit more when we need them to. We need... Oh, pardon me. Where did that come from? We need the players to step up in the second half, because really, it's not been good enough so far. So, to start the half, we're going to demand more, and hopefully, we can just put them under a little bit more pressure. Because at the moment... Oh, you're joking. Oh, you're joking. Of all of the players as well. He's about to make his England debut. Noni Madueke with a lower leg injury. Hopefully it's nothing serious, because that's his England plan. That's his England's call-up completely ruined if not. Oh, I don't even feel bad for us. I feel bad for him. Right, well, we've got Hadji and Bowen. I mean, I'd prefer to bring Bowen on, but he's still injured. Did we give him an injection? I think we gave him an injection, didn't we? So we'll bring Bowen on. Oh, I feel so bad for Madueke. I mean, he could have made the difference for us today as well. That's the thing. But... Oh, it's so unlucky for him. That is so unlucky. Right, Livramento gets it to Bowen. Inside to Armada. Over to Rice. Back to... I think it was Bowen. And Zakarian is there. And Zakarian has equalised. And it's 1-1 in the Champions League final. We're back in the game, boys. We're back in the game. And it's that man, Arsene Zakarian, with the goal. Was it Jared Bowen with the assist? I think it was. Jared Bowen has come off the bench and got an assist in the last 2 games. Both of them cup finals. Big match Jared. If they need to call someone up, I hope Jared Bowen is the one who gets it, because he's still had a fantastic season. Bowen's at it again. He's got the ball. He's cutting inside. Ball gets to Armada. Alvarez back to Bowen. Bowen going to try and cut it in here. Gets to Armada. And Thiago Armada has to force the save from Donnarumma. Donnarumma does manage to make the save, though. We have turned this game around in the second half. And I'm not entirely sure how we've done it. Yes, we made changes, but I didn't expect them to have this effect. Bowen trying to get in there. I wonder whether if he was fully fit, he would have got there. Alvarez not turning up for the Champions League final, which is a bit of a frustration. I am going to... berate him a little bit for the fact that he's not doing anything yet. You watch, he's going to score a goal now. That would just be my luck. I've had a shout at him, and then he goes and scores the winner in the Champions League final. We've got Brenner, and we've got... Oh, God. Forget his name. Sesko. I keep forgetting his name. Sesko's on the bench as well. So we've got those two who could come on and make a difference if we really needed them to. I can't believe Bowen's come straight on and got an assist. Oh, Livramento. Livramento hasn't focused, and we've just been bailed out there by the shooting of Paris Saint-Germain's players. Livramento needs to focus. I'm going to demand more from him. That's not good play from him at all, giving the ball away sloppily like that. We're in the 80th minute. I've not been paying attention. We're in the 82nd minute, 83rd minute now. I've not been paying attention at all. Right, we've got, to my money, 2 substitutions left, and we've got one very tired Arsene Zakarian, a poorly playing Yuri Tielemans, and a poorly playing Julian Alvarez. But I'm going to take Tielemans off, and I think we're going to bring Thomas Soucek on as a ball-winning midfielder. That's change number 1. Change number 2... It's got to be Zakarian. I'd rather have fit players on the pitch. And we're going to bring Yanis Hadji on. He's going to play out wide. He can play out wide pretty well. I just thought Jared Bowen, we better put him on support, actually. And I think that's it. I don't think we have another substitution, do we? No, we do not. It's always worth checking. That'll do. That's the team to see the game out. And then if we get into extra time, we will, I think, have at least one more substitution. I'm going to demand a bit more from the boys. It's a free kick from Paris Saint-Germain. And Ndidi's there! And Wilfred Ndidi has scored. And we might have just lost the game. It's poor set-piece defending from us. And the dream of a Champions League might just be over. It might just be over, boys. It might just be over. Oh, man. That's a proper gut punch as well. That's a proper gut punch. Set pieces are normally something we're really good at, and we've gone and conceded from a set piece. Right, well, we might as well go for it now. We've done so well in this game. We've done so well this season. But Paris Saint-Germain are your Champions League winners of the 23-24 European season. And to be fair, we were never meant to get to the final. I think our objective was to get out of the group, and we've gone into the bloody final. And I think that is something that we should be very proud of at this club. But Paris Saint-Germain are worthy winners of the Champions League. Well done to them. Well done to them. Neymar and Messi adding another Champions League to their cabinet. Paris Saint-Germain, it must be the first time they've won it in this save, and it'll be the first time that they've won it like ever in their history. All that money has finally paid off for them. Do you know what, though? We gave it a good go. We went down, we made changes, we came back, and it was just a set-piece goal that did us in. Bit disappointed in Alvarez, absolutely anonymous, as well as Tielemans. Madueke didn't have a chance to really get going. Had a poor first half. We didn't get to see whether he'd have a good second one. To be fair, Jared Bowen came on and really changed the game for us. And as you can see, you could argue we've been a bit FM there, because looking at everything other than clear-cut chances and possession, I mean, we were the better team, really. Our crosses completed was better. Our tackles won was better. Our headers were not, so they were better in the air than us. We ran more than them. They completed more passes than we did, but our XG, our shots on target, our overall shots were better. I mean, at the end of the day, they just had that little bit of quality. I'm going to outstretch my arms. I'm going to say that it's motivated the boys. They did very, very well to get to the final, and I have to say, I'm so proud of the players to get there. I genuinely am. Right, how bad is the injury to Madueke? 2 to 3 weeks. Right, he might be okay for England duty, and that would be good. If he's okay for England duty, I'll be very, very happy. Zakarian's fantastic. We already knew that. We've got some money as well. Bowen's out for 4 to 7 days. Nightbridge is out for 2 to 3 weeks. None of that matters because we have finished the season. Right. Oh, man. Oh, God, what an emotional rollercoaster that was. Right, we can't be unhappy. We've won a domestic treble. I can't be unhappy with anything to do with this season whatsoever. We won the Premier League, the Carabao Cup, and the FA Cup. Let's face it, it'd be a bit greedy to say, oh, we should have won the Champions League as well. We did so well to get here. Losing in the final against PSG, there's no shame in that whatsoever. Right, I am going to get changed out of the suit. And we'll get to the season review. And we're back for the season review. So, we'll get through this first, then we'll talk about how the series has been as a whole. But we'll get through this first, and let's see what the game thinks of our season. I mean, 3 lovely trophies there, which is always good to see. Let's get into new arrivals. We spent big in the transfer market. Signing of the season was Tino Livramento. I have to say, I completely agree. 10 assists from 49 appearances. He's been a very, very solid player for us at right back. There's never been a question about him being the first choice right back. James Justin came in as a very capable backup. but Livramento was always the man. He was the best signing, most expensive signing in the club's history as well. We also signed one Luca Manchini. I think this guy was second in the best signings. He was absolutely fantastic for us this season. Played 45 times, 7 goals, 1 assist. Could partner either Diop or Zuma. Was comfortable with either of them. Was very, very good. Had a couple of wobbles towards the end of the season, but for the majority, he was fantastic. We finally got our man in Luka Ivanišek. A whole season later than we wanted to, but we did finally get him, and he wasn't a disappointment. 4 goals, 6 assists in 18 appearances altogether. Had an injury towards the end of the season, which kind of cut out his involvement, but it's one of those. At the end of the day, he did very well for us, and if we were to continue to save, I imagine he would continue to. Omar Saleh, more than adequate backup, came in, 23 appearances, 14 of those from the start. Didn't get a goal, but did get an assist, so very good. And we got him actually quite cheaply, both on fee and wages for a player of his quality. Ivan Ilic, we brought in from Man City as a backup deep line playmaker, and he did a very good job. 5 assists from 17 starts, 13 substitution appearances as well. Filled a gap in the team and did it very, very well. Victor Christiansen, the other fullback that we brought in, I think was also fantastic. 6 assists from 42 starts and 2 substitution appearances. Maybe not as spectacular as Tino Livramento, but was pretty damn good in his own right, I think. Was very, very solid. Again, had 1 or 2 wobbles, but I think, again, if we carried on this save for another couple of years, he would be a world superstar, and we'd have some of the biggest clubs in the world after him. We also brought in a couple of Leicester boys, James Justin and Youri Tielemans. They got over £110 million between these 2 players from us, and worth every penny, I think, for both of them. James Justin got a couple of assists, got a goal, was a very adequate right back and left back cover before we brought in a bespoke left back in January. Did very, very good in both roles and was a good backup when we needed one. Youri Tielemans was very, very good. I was expecting a little bit more. However, he still did a good job for us. 10 assists and 4 goals in 37 starts and 14 substitution appearances. Went anonymous in a few games, but on the whole, he was very, very good. Sergio Rico barely played for us, but knowing he was there as a backup was definitely a plus point for us. I always felt confident knowing he was there. Benjamin Sesko, if we were to continue to save, I know I've said this for a few players, I think he would either be an absolute superstar or we'd make a lot of money on him. He was a very, very good player to bring in. To be fair, 5 starts, 4 goals. Yes, he made 9 substitution appearances, but we'll ignore those. 5 starts, 4 goals. Very, very good. And I think he would have become a superstar. I think if we were going to continue for 1 more year, we're not. But if we were, Brenner would be out the door. Sesko would be our second striker. I think that's how it would work. And then we brought in Angelino. Didn't come in for a lot. We had to pay a lot of money to loan him, which is why we got an E on it. But he came in and filled a gap in the squad. He's a very capable fullback. He did a good job for us when we needed him to. I can't complain too much. We won't focus too much on the transfers out, but we did sell a few players. Andres Garcia was a youngster we brought in a couple of years ago, sold him to Inter. We sold Matthias Ginter, who didn't do very well for us. As you can see, didn't do very well over at AC Milan. Cardoso was never going to make it here as well. We let him go to Sunderland. Same with Saroui, $13.5 million for him. Roberto Alvarado came in, didn't really do a lot for us, really. He was not that good, so we let him go this season. £20 million, I think he's very, very good. Same with Amine Gouiri. Actually, Gouiri was very good, and I was a bit sad to see him go, but we didn't need him. With the emergence of Zakarian, we just did not need him. We sold him in, I think it was January. He had a good first half of the season for us, to be fair, but I think it was good business, and 20 million is a good fee for him. Tasek we let go as well, and Chris Meffam we let go to Brentford too. Player who was never really going to break into the team for us, and then all of the others, as you can see, are a lot of loans, except for these two. I forgot about these. Paulo Maffeo to Real Madrid. Baffles me they wanted him, but they were more than welcome to him. He barely played for them as well. Barely played for them. Well, how do you feel about that? We wouldn't have sold him as well, but he fell out with us. So, at the end of the day, I can't really complain about that deal. Florian Grilic as well, going to Brighton for 35 million. Played a lot of games for them as well, so fair play to him for that. We did also let these two go. Antonio and Cresswell, club legends in my eyes. Club legends, but they were never going to get into the team anytime soon, and they've both moved on to pastures new. Well, here we go. How did we do compared to expectations? So, the board expectation for the Premier League was to qualify for the Champions League. We won it. We won it with 2 games to spare. beating Arsenal. And I still can't get over the fact that we did it, to be honest with you. Full 8 points. Full 6 points clear of Liverpool and Manchester United, who both finished level. Liverpool finishing second due to goal difference. An absolutely outstanding season. One loss through the entire season. That loss being against Liverpool. So Liverpool actually had a positive record against us this year. A draw and a loss for us against them. But as you can see... Sorry, big gassy then. As you can see, we just had the most incredible season. Manchester United, we didn't drop any points against them whatsoever. We drew both of those games. So we did very, very well there. Good average home attendance. And Julian Alvarez was our top goal scorer in the league with 19 goals. He only played 21 games because we rotated him and Brenner quite a bit. So actually, that is a pretty big achievement. Champions League, we were expected to reach the first knockout rounds. We were the runners-up, and we only lost in the last couple of minutes, and it was gutting to me. However, look at the run that we had. We had Bayern Munich, we had Roma, and Zenit St. Petersburg in the group stage, and we got through that group, and I'm still so proud of the team for doing that. Got through, we battered Atletico Madrid in the first leg, got through in the second leg. We did the same to Athletic Bilbao in the first leg, and then we lost against them in the second leg, but it was fine. And then that turnaround in the first leg of the Dortmund game, and then the manner in which we dismantled them in the second leg, I still don't really understand. Again, great attendance. Noni Madueke was our top scorer with 10 goals in that competition. Absolutely fantastic. FA Cup, we were expected to get to the semi-final. Not only did we go one better, we also won it for a second year in a row. We love this competition. We got to the semi-final in the first season, remember. Brenner was our top goal scorer with 7 goals in this competition. We didn't have the hardest run, to be fair. Charlton, Norwich and Bournemouth were fairly easy ties. Manchester City we managed to beat. I think that was on penalties. That's probably the most difficult game up to the final. And then we got through Newcastle, again, on penalties. That was a tough game to get through. I would say it's penalties. Was it extra time? I don't know. It doesn't really matter. We won. That's the main thing. And then we beat Chelsea comprehensively in the final. Happy, happy days. Carabao Cup. Board didn't care. We won it anyway. Our first Carabao Cup win. Again, it says 1-1. I mean, again, did we win it in extra time? Did we win it in penalties? I'll have to have a look at these when we finish through this, because I'm quite interested just how many of the big games we actually got through when we had to go to extra time. Arsene Zakarian and Brenner both with 4 goals in this. Again, great attendance for the club in that competition. And the Community Shield really didn't matter just as well because we lost it against Liverpool. Moments to remember. Biggest win, 8-1 against Watford right at the beginning of the season. I think we drew the first game. Was it against Southampton? I can't remember. I remember the first game being a little bit wobbly and thinking, oh God, here we go. And then we came out of the gates. Alvarez scored, Bowen got a couple, Guiri got a hat-trick, Almada and Diop scoring as well. Fantastic. Then we went and battered Atletico Madrid 5-0. Renan Lodi, secret agent from West Ham United, getting sent off in the 62nd minute, but we were already 3-0 up at that point, so it didn't really matter. And then the goal of the season, according to this, was a free kick from Yanis Hadji. If this is the one I'm thinking of, I'm close to saying I agree, but I will go through my own goals of the season once we got through the season review, because it was an absolutely delightful free kick if it's the one I'm thinking of. But yeah, all very, very good. Finance-wise, money, all through the place. All through the place. We spent a lot of money this year, but as you can see, our sponsorship went up by 20 million. We made about the same broadcast revenue. It went up a little bit. Corporate hospitality went up a little bit as well. Competition prize money went up by nearly 30 million. You'd expect that for the fact that we made such a deep Champions League run and won the Premier League. And our matchday commercial and retail went up as well. The top shirt sales were Madueke, Sesko, which is quite interesting, although we did pay a lot of money for him. Alvarez, Zuma and Tielemans. I'm surprised Bowen's not still on there. I'm surprised Declan Rice is not still on there. But you know what? I can't disagree with much of that, to be honest with you. And we have now got a worldwide reputation. So again, see, this is where I wish I was doing another season. I'm definitely not. But that would mean we could get some proper players in. Absolute world-class players. Okay, the best 11 of the season. Let's have a look at this. So, Lafont in goal. Livramento, Zuma, Manchini and Christiansen. I would agree with that. I know I said Diop and Zuma was my preferred partnership for the 2 cup finals, but I would say Manchini and Zuma, when they went in there, I felt really confident with any of the 3, to be honest with you. But those 2 in particular always seem to impress me. So Why I went for Diop in the 2 finals, I don't really know. But anyway, the midfield was Rice and Tielemans. I would agree with that. I don't think Ilic or Souček really did enough to step up. I think Souček is one that I would always, if I needed a big game player, I'd put Souček in there. But Tielemans probably earned it. And then the front line, Madueke, Hadji, and Zakarian supporting Alvarez up front. Zakarian and Hadji surprised me a little bit. Having said that, Bowen really did drop off in the second half of the season. Was only starting to look himself towards the end of the season. And, I mean, I don't know. I thought Armada did better than Hadji, but I think Hadji's just such a good player. I mean, he's my go-to. If I ever need an attacking midfielder, Yanis Hadji's the man. But I think that looks pretty good to me. And accolades, let's have a look. So, Manager of the Month twice, and I didn't show you that. Manager of the Year, this guy right here. This guy right here. Happy, happy days. By the way, I don't know if I mentioned this before. I've got 25 caps for England, and I got 4 goals. I wonder what position I played, because that would explain that. But I didn't realise that. I feel like I must have realised it. I feel like I must have seen it at some point. And in fact, have I referenced it in a video before? I feel like I have, but I don't know if it was this save. Anyway, doesn't matter. Fans Player of the Season is Kurt Zuma. Interesting. Wouldn't have been who I'd have given it to. Young Player of the Season, Noni Madueke. I can kind of see that. Signing of the Season, Tino Livramento. I think he would have been Madueke's rival for Young Player of the Season. But Madueke, I think, could have been the Player of the Season as well. Goal of the Season, Yanis Hadji. We'll get to that. Top goal scorer was Julian Alvarez. 32 goals in all competitions. Very respectable. There were some insane goal totals for some other players in the Premier League this year, so we'll have a look at those soon. Most assists was Jared Bowen with 17. I've got to imagine Hadji's around that number as well. Most player of the match awards was Yanis Hadji. I can believe that completely. Highest average rating was Yanis Hadji. I'm actually a bit surprised he didn't get Player of the Season in a way, but he did kind of drop off towards the end of the season as well, or at least we took him out of the team because he wasn't very happy. I know Marseille actually had the most passes per 90 minutes. The Issa Diop Award, as I like to call it, because he's had the most for the last 2 seasons, I think, goes to Omar Saleh. In terms of competition awards, European Champions Cup Defender of the Season, Kurt Zuma. That's the only one that we got, but you know what? That's fine. In terms of record breakers, clean sheets, 20 for Alban Lafont, which is fantastic. And most player of the match awards in the season, we already know that was Yanis Hadji. And there you go. What a season. What an absolute season. The overall best 11 looks like this. So it's Lafont in goal, Johnson, Zuma, Diop and Cresswell. I'd question Johnson being there, maybe also Cresswell. But to be fair, it's only been 1 season that we've had Livramento and Christiansen, so I'll let them off with that one. Hadji and Almada in the midfield. Yeah, that doesn't scream any problems at all, does it? Madueke, Bowen and Zakarian with Alvarez up front. I think what that highlights is our best asset has been our goal scoring. That our entire midfield consists of players who would make up a front 4. That's what that tells me. And then on the bench, we've got Manchini, Livramento, Souček, Rice, Tielemans and Brenner all in there with Areola as well. Yeah, okay, cool. We've done the season review. We don't need to worry about that. We don't really need to worry about any of that kind of stuff. The Champions Cup Dream Team or Champions League Dream Team. Madueke, Tielemans and Alvarez in there. Rightfully so. Didn't get anyone in the top 3 for goalkeeper. Zuma and Manchini were 1st and 2nd, which is pretty cool. Yanis Hadji and Noni Madueke were 2nd and 3rd in the midfielder of the season. And Julian Alvarez was 2nd in the forward of the season. I think that is pretty cool, actually, to get so many players in contention for it. Oh, my word. Right, so before we do anything else, goal of the season. So I have my top 3 goals of the season. It took a little bit of deliberating because we've had some really good goals, actually. And now I just need to decide on an order. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to go with Julian Alvarez against Leeds United. It was his 2nd of the game, and it was a beautiful chip from range. An absolutely beautiful goal. The lad literally gets a hold of the ball. The goal kick comes up. Diop heads down. Yanis Hadji gets it to Ivanisevic. Ivanisevic gets it to Alvarez. And Alvarez, he's not even in the penalty area. And he just launches it over the goalkeeper. And it is a thing of beauty. Absolutely wonderful, wonderful goal. Wonderful stuff. I think 2nd place, this is really difficult because there's 2 goals here that I absolutely love. I think we're going to go with the goal scored by Yuri Tielemans versus Atletico Madrid. This was an absolutely wonderful, wonderful goal. So Chris Jansen gets it inside to Declan Rice. Declan Rice just gets it to Tielemans. Tielemans turns and just launches it into the back of the net like he does not care. Absolutely fantastic goal. But then the first goal. First place in the Goal of the Season awards, the Bowen Awards, goes to Ianis Hadji, and it's for the free kick of dreams. It is genuinely one of the nicest free kicks I've seen. It's quite wide out, actually, and I thought it was going to be a cross, but Hadji hits it, gets it on the crossbar, nearest to the near post, hits the crossbar, bounces down inside the goal. It is an absolute thing of beauty, genuinely. I can't think of a more fitting recipient for it. A man who doesn't score many goals necessarily, but he's a scorer of beautiful goals. Ianis Hadji wins best goal of the season. The Bowen Award is renamed again. It is the Hadji Award for Season 3. Wonderful, wonderful stuff. So, starting from the beginning, we did start with a Southampton draw 2-2 after the Liverpool Carabao Cup game, and then really we just kicked on from there. After we beat Watford 8-1, we just didn't really stop. Yes, we lost against Bayern. Yes, we drew a couple of games against Fulham and Manchester United. But we just carried on. Like, we just didn't care. There wasn't a single month where we didn't drop points. That's one thing I think that we've had in previous years. I think if we go back to last season, I'm sure there's one period where we didn't drop points in a month or something like that. Yeah, this month here, February. I mean, it was only a few games, but... Oh, in May as well, yeah. So there's a couple of seasons there where we didn't drop points at all. We didn't have one of those this season, so we were more consistent, I feel like. I think instead of having one block where we were just excellent, we've been consistently fantastic the entirety of the season. And absolutely wonderful. Just winning games, drawing every now and then, but mostly getting the wins all the way until that loss against Liverpool, where we thought, after Ianis Hadji had equalised, we thought we'd gotten away with it. But no, Erling Haaland got us with a penalty, and that was our first loss of the season, the only loss of the league season, meaning we ended up not having an unbeaten year. Let's face it, we don't really care about that because we won the bloody league. In terms of stats at the end of the season, Zuma finished as the third best player in the league. He was the only one of our players to make any of these lists. As you can see, some of the goals were ridiculous. Erling Haaland scoring more goals than there were games, 39 in 38. Tammy Abraham scoring 31. Harry Kane scoring 26. And then we actually ended up 8th on the list with Julian Alvarez. We also had Brenner and Thiago Almada both on there with 11. I mean, when you consider our goals-to-games ratio, it's pretty incredible, actually, because Alvarez scored 19 in 18 starts. He did have 8 substitute appearances as well, but we won't talk about that. Brenner had 11 in 15 starts, 5 substitute appearances, and Thiago Almada had 11 in 15 starts, 8 substitution appearances. We have been a fantastic team, I think. Also, Lorban Lafont was 4th in the Golden Glove, just to let you know as well. We have genuinely been fantastic this season. And we've been fantastic for the entire save as well, if we're being completely honest with you. So, I don't know whether we can get to it through this, but we're going to have a look at the overview of stuff. So, looking at this chart here, I think we have to look at this and look at the top trophies that we've won. Premier League, won in our time. Europa League, won in our time. UEFA Supercup, I believe we won that in our time. FA Cup, 5 in the history, 2 of them were with us. That's pretty incredible. Carabao Cup, 1 in our history, won it with us. Fantastic, just fantastic achievements, I think we have to say. As you can see, some of the achievements there as well, with some random things up there. Youth facilities upgraded. I don't know if we need to know that necessarily. But, yeah, I think when you consider the state that the club was in when we first got here, and I don't necessarily mean that in a horrible way. I mean, the best way to look at that probably is if we go to the first season on here, and if we have a look at, I don't know if it will still be here, but if we have a look at the, no, we can't look at it. I was hoping we might be able to get the 11 coming up, but, yeah, it's a bit annoying. The 11 that we had at the start of the season was a good 11, but you still had players like Cresswell, you still had Ogbonna, you still had Michael Antonio. A lot of players who in real life are not bad players, but in FM, players that needed to be upgraded, and we upgraded them definitely. And, I mean, what do you say? I think we've done so well in this save. I didn't expect it to go as well as it had. And, yeah, I mean, we made all of the right decisions. If you have a look at our staff page, we've got the best staff in the Premier League, I would say. Our goalkeeping coaches, our technical and tactical guys are not necessarily the best, but they're certainly up there. Staff-wise, I think we did the right thing in upgrading all this, because I think this has helped us get to where we wanted to go. I think if you look at our facilities and stuff, everything is 5-star or 4.5, which I think says everything about the club. I think, you know, we've turned this club into a I don't know what the best way to phrase it is, but we've transformed it to a point where this club is set up for success no matter what. The money will come in. The money will continue to come in. Yeah, we've set the club up for success is what I'm trying to say. And, yeah, we leave the club in good hands, I think. Whoever comes in has got a good base to go off of. Financially, I think we're probably not quite in a very popular situation because we're currently in a negative balance. However, there's still some money to come into the club. And all it would take is probably one major player sale to sort it. And I think it would be absolutely fine. There's a couple of players who are itching to leave. Maybe now we're a 4.5-star club, which I'm still very excited about. Maybe they wouldn't. But to take the club from what I can remember, was a mid-table Premier League club, or at least that was the expectations. Take them from that to a Champions League finalist, Premier League winning club, who's also won 3 domestic trophies in 2 seasons, is mind-blowing to me. So that's pretty incredible. A couple of things before we wrap up. We're going to talk about my player of the save, signing of the save, flop of the save, and also my goal of the save as well. So, we'll start with goal of the save, because that one's quite easy, because there's 3 goals to choose from. First one is obviously Yanis Hadji's goal you saw earlier, so I'm not going to show you that one again. So the contenders for the award are Vlasic from Season 1, who scored an absolutely wonderful, wonderful goal against Fulham. Some lovely little passing, and then Vlasic gets it just inside the box and just curls it into the top corner. It was a thing of beauty. The other goal to pick from was Jarrod Bowen. I don't know if you remember this goal against Lyon. I certainly do. Again, won the goal of the season last year. Wasn't a belter. It was just some lovely team play. Passing in and around. Absolutely fantastic. Between those two and the free kick from Hadji this year, I don't actually know who to give it to be honest with you. I forgot how good the Vlasic goal was. I forgot how good the Bowen goal was as well. Do you know what? I'm going to give it to the... I don't know. No, do you know what? I'm going to give it to Jarrod Bowen. Jarrod Bowen from Season 2. That goal was absolutely spectacular. Genuinely, I was so impressed with... It wasn't just because he scored it. It was the way we played as a team. The passing in that move was absolutely sensational. I feel like if a goal like that was scored in real life, it would be kind of like the goal that Arsenal scored years and years ago. Jack Wilshere scored a wonderful, like, Arsenal-esque goal, and it was fantastic. And I feel like that was kind of one of those goals, if I'm honest with you. In terms of player of the save, who do we pick for that? Who do we pick for that? Well, I mean, looking at the actual players we've got in the team, Yanis Hadji would be the obvious choice. He's had the best season, I would argue, this year. And he had a very good season last year. And even when we signed him in Season 1, he did very, very well. His output has not been as good this season as either of the last 2 years, but he's actually been more important for the team, I think. So he's definitely in contention with a shout. I also think Thiago Almada can be in with a shout as well. He's actually come in and done very, very well for us. He came in Season 2, did okay. He's actually been very, very similar this year, but similar to Hadji, his actual impact on the team seems to have been better. His output of goals and assists have been very similar, but he's actually done it in less games this year, so he has to be very, very proud of that. Issa, Diop and Kurt Zuma both have to be in with a shout. I think both of these guys were fantastic, as you can see. Pure consistency from Issa Diop. Scored 12 goals last season as well in the league, which was fantastic. If I look at Kurt Zuma, very, very similar. Just very consistent, very good. Very consistent in goal scoring as well. That's incredible. I didn't even notice that before, but that's absolutely incredible. Fantastic. Thomas Soucek's probably not in with a shout. Jarrod Bowen up until this season would have been in with a shout as well. And to be honest, he still had a very, very good year. But he was disappointing in Season 1, so I don't think we can count him because of that. If I'm being completely honest, I don't think we can count him because of that Season 1. And even this year, he's not been quite at the peak of his powers, if we're being honest. Julian Alvarez comes very, very close. Very, very, very close. But he's been very inconsistent at times, and he's actually scored less goals this season. Granted, he's played 6 games less, but I don't know. Julian Alvarez definitely within the shout, but I don't know if I could give it to him, if I'm honest with you. I am going to go with Yanis Hadji. I think Yanis Hadji deserves it. His impact on the team has been fantastic. Even when he's gone out of the team, it's never been because of bad form. Whenever he's come in, he's always had a good impact on the team. So, player of the save, I think I said player of the season before. Player of the save goes to Yanis Hadji. Does that then mean he becomes the signing of the save? I don't think we can give that to him. I personally think that belongs to someone else, and I think that belongs to Noni Madueke. I had never heard of this kid, and I didn't even know there was an English lad playing at PSV. I didn't know. And yet, we signed him, and he has done this. I mean, it's absolutely insane. 2 seasons. Okay, that first season doesn't look very spectacular, but he had some really good games. But this season, I don't know. There's just something about him that I really, really like. He's had his first England call-up for the Euros as well. I think signing of the save, personally, has to go to Noni Madueke. And there have been some good signings as well. Very, very good signings indeed. Flop of the save. I'm going back on to our transfers just to have a look at some of the players we've sold. Just because I feel like one of them is definitely going to be on here. And I'm just trying to find him just to confirm it. I think James Tarkowski can definitely be counted as one of them. As can Alvarado. Both of those did not work out. I think Tarkowski was definitely the worst of the offenders there. Amadosic wasn't good either when we signed him. I think we have to go a little bit harsh here. And I think it has to be Harvey Elliott. We spent a lot of money on Harvey Elliott. A lot of money on him. We spent 40 million up front. But Harvey Elliott, we signed him with a lot of promise. He played 9 times for us in the Premier League in that first season. 4 appearances starting and 5 substitutions. Didn't really look good enough. And then this season, he spent most of it injured. And then when he has come back, he's barely played. To be fair, he scored that 1 goal. And that 1 goal was a good goal. But flop of the season, I think, unfortunately, goes to Harvey Elliott. Simply because we signed him. And almost immediately, Arsene Zakarian took over when he came back from his loan. So, I think we have to say that. But that's it, I think. I've rambled on long enough about this save. It's been fantastic. I'm going to miss the boys. I am going to miss them. They have been absolutely fantastic. And they've brought the club nothing but success. And I couldn't be prouder of them. Declan Rice, I think, 100% was a very, very deserving captain. He's been very, very good for us in every single season. I mean, the ratings haven't been that good, but he's been a consistent, solid presence in the midfield. He's never really disappointed us too much. 6.5 is usually the lowest he'd get. 6.5, 6.4. He'd never be one of the players who gets to a 6.1 like some of them. Special mention to Declan Rice. I'm impressed as well. We managed to hold on to him. Managed to hold on to Soucek. Managed to hold on to Zuma. We managed to hold on to Diop as well. Very surprised we held on to some of these players. And when you look at the value that we've got in some of these players, we've got 2, 3 players who have a potential value of over 100 million. We've got several who are over 50 million as well. We have got some money in this team if we needed to sell it if we were carrying on the save. But that, I think, is going to do it. I think that's going to do it. Oh, my word. What a ride this has been. Right. Whew. Thank you so much for watching. It's been a wild ride doing this West Ham save. I've really enjoyed it. My first full save of FM22. My first full save on YouTube because I had to cut the Dortmund one short because of FM22 coming out. So, hopefully you guys have enjoyed it. If you have, please like, please subscribe. Drop a comment down below and tell me what you liked. Tell me what you didn't like. Tell me what you think I could do in the future. We are going to be starting a new save soon. It's not going to be another Let's Go save. I'm going to take a little bit of time to do a couple of other things. And then I'm going to come back to Let's Go with a couple of, not necessarily rules, but I'm going to try and make it a bit more difficult. Because we shouldn't have been winning the Premier League in Season 3 or getting to the Champions League final. So I'm going to try and make things a little bit tougher for the next Let's Go save. Maybe I will, maybe I won't. Who knows? But we're going to be going with a new series. The series is going to be called One and Done. You can probably guess from that it's going to be a 1-season save with the club. And I'll go more into it in its own separate video. But you can imagine the type of thing. Take over a club, try and win something with them in a season, try and keep them up within the season, something like that. So look out for that in the near future. But until then, thank you all so much. My name is StuBo. You guys have been awesome. Thanks again, and I'll see you next time. Take care, and bye-bye for now.